Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's question time, a weekly show where we are live and answering your questions about game development, Unreal Engine or anything you want at all. We are live, as I said, and if you don't know how this works, all you have to do is put your question into chat. I'll try and grab as many as I can within the hour and answer as quickly as I can as well. If you are a Patreon member, you have access to the Question Time Queue Jump, which is a Discord channel on our Discord server, and in that channel you can ask your questions ahead of time, so if you can't make it live you can rewatch it later with your questions answered still. I can see hello everyone in chat. I can see Patrick, Ben, ASMR, Lionel, Aaron, how you doing? All good. I've been working on some cool stuff this month. I've been working on a really cool looking UI thing, and I might make a video about how to do some pop. Been good fun. I can't wait to share more about that. But anyway, one thing I announced yesterday is this month is our 4th anniversary of the channel, and each year on the anniversary we do a special event, and this year we're doing Asset Flip live. So over the next few Saturdays we'll be doing Asset Flip live, where you can watch me try and make something in the 6 hours, so 2 hours per live stream, equaling 3 live streams in total for those who can to make something using the assets that are free this month, and watch me struggle to put something together. But it should be fun. Okay, let's just jump straight in. I think hit the little button. Thanks, Gary. Thank you. Okay, so as I said, Patreon members have access to the queue jump, and there's a couple of questions in there I'm going to answer today. First one's from Patrick, who I can see is in chat already, asking about how to get AI to stop seeing your player and other actors when they're entering hiding grass. So this is something I wanted to test for a while. Work with characters. I'm pretty certain this is the way you do it, but let's double check. So character, and here we're going to do AI test, and going to add a new controller class. Oh, AI controller. Select, and we'll make our AI use that. So we're going to get mesh. I'll talk about this month's assets in a moment. I've got some thoughts. Yeah, they are. It's going to definitely be a challenge. Oh, I don't have a damn. Oh no, there we go. I can use this. Put this in there. Okay, and we'll make him use the class defaults. Thanks for the donation, Brett. By all means, throwing the question about Niagara. I just literally was doing something in Niagara a minute ago. Use our player controller, or AI controller rather, and in here you just want to add the perception to this. Guide perception and sense, and we'll add sight to it, and we'll turn detection by affiliation for everything. And that'll do. Okay, so compile, save, that'll go there, that'll there. So I'm not going to make him do anything, make him stand there basically, and we'll turn on debug to test this out. So I'm going to turn him around, that, and play, and our detection system should detect the player. Or, so you can see it's detected me, the little green ball. Okay. So, to stealth that away, we're going to go into player character here. So, there's a thing you can do where you can unregister a source from the senses. Now, this is a function that belongs to a stimuli source. Now, with characters, they are auto-registered as stimuli sources. So you can't actually change it directly anyway. I've got a theory though that I haven't yet tested. I'm going to test it right here, right now, live, and see if we get an answer to this. So I'm going to make it so when I push the 1 key, come up, 1 key, we're going to unregister it from source. Now, as I said, you can't unregister without a stimuli source, but if we add one to it, okay, my theory is that this will override what's in the character one. So we have this on here. And this is how you add like stimulus to things that aren't characters. So if you want them to see food and things like that, you can make them see that stuff. So add this as source to site, and that'll do there. So to double check that still works, I should still see myself getting seen by this chap here. Okay. But if I now go when I press 1, drag this out, and do unregister from perception system, my theory and logic is that this would take us off that list. So let's test this out. I could be wrong. Find out. Okay, so I'm seeing 1 key. No. No, don't override it. Balls to it. Yeah, it's a pain because characters are auto-registered. That's the issue we have. And there's no way to... Oh, wait, auto-register source. Maybe turn that on. Hang on. Right, now hit 1. Yay, it works. Okay, it does work. So my theory was correct. So what you have to do, Patrick, is you have to add the perception stimuli source to the character. This will override the default behavior in the character, as I correctly suggested. Then on the right hand side, you need to tick auto register as source, so it's registered like normal. And then when you're hiding, you want to, and make sure you add sense to this, by the way. And when you're hiding, you want to unregister it from the perception system. And then when you pop back out, you just do released register again. So let's do it with an actual area in the world. So let's do a hiding space. In class, actor, hiding spot. Okay, this is a bit like our grass we have. Okay, so box to this. Or cube, rather, so we can actually see something in the world. Like that. And I'm going to turn off all the collision on it, apart from overlap. Overlap all. Paint graph. And then on actor begin overlap, the other actor here, we're going to cast to the first person character, in this case. And from there we can get the perception source. Source. And we can unregister from perception system. Then when we end overlap, we're going to do basically the same thing. So cast first person, and we need to cast because that's how we get access to the particular stimulus source. And then here we're going to get stimuli source, and then you can do register for perception system. It puts it back on. So let's test this out. If I put this into the world, got some low level grass there. I should still trigger. Play. Okay, so he can see me. You can see he's tracking me with the little ball following me. As I enter this box, the ball has stayed there. So now he can't see me. Do whatever I want. But if I leave this box, see me again. Ta-da! There you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that. But yes, you can do this for AI characters as well. Any character you want, just add the stimuli source to it, and they can make them hide from each other too. So, if for example you've got an animal hunting another animal, or an enemy hunting another enemy, you can make them hide from each other and stalk. That's how you do that. Right, that was a cool one. Good. That's a good one. Okay. The other question we got was from Unbelievable on the Discord. So he says this one might be a longer one, so it might be not a good one to answer right now. But he's asking about in a lot of shooters, characters will be at idle, looking in one direction, which can hurt perception of AI. Could you just show us how to set it up so that AI walks in little random circles, randomly at idle for enhanced awareness in all directions? Nobody stands in one specific direction for a long period of time. So you're talking about like what we call them fidgets, where they like do this sort of thing and like look, stretch and turn around and things like that. So you can tie the perception system is tied to the control rotation. So if you change the control rotation, that will change as well. So let's say you tie the control rotation to the head movement. Whatever rotation the head has, you can tie the perception system to follow it. So as they fidget, behind here will move the perception system around. So you can definitely do that. Anyway, let's jump straight in to some more questions here. So Brett donated $2 to ask the question. If I can find the question, hang on, got to filter through it. First, I'm trying to come up with my own way of making stylized fire. I somewhat have a good plain material panning noise to make the flame. Still working on it and would love suggestions. Anyway, once I get animated plain material, what is the best way to make it spawn in Niagara along different Z angles that looks good from all sides? Okay, so you're going for some sort of stylized fire effect. Okay, so let's try and make something simple. So I'm going to make a Niagara system. An empty one. And we go in here. And what I'll do as you're doing, I'll make little planes basically. So let me make material to use for this. Actually, no, I want a texture ideally. Oh no, let's just do it like this. What a texture I can thinking of. Hold on. Grab one. Window. We'll use this thing. Cool. So I'm going to use a hexagon rather than a plane. Hold on. By your question, are you using meshes or are you using a material? Material. Okay. So I'm gonna make a material out of this. We'll just. Okay, create material. Yeah. The AI perception and runtime there racing was fun. Is the debug into AI is the apostrophe key. Example. So you push the apostrophe key, which is next to your return key on your keyboard. And in the top left of this screen on the viewport up there, I can see my camera's frozen. No. You can see 0 is nav mesh, 1 is AI, 2 behavior tree, 3 EQS, 4 perception. And you can see that 2 are highlighted green. That's AI and behavior. The numbers refer to number pads. So 0 is nav mesh, 1 is AI, 2 behavior tree, 3 EQS, 4 perceptions. So you just hit the number keys on the number pad, show various things there. We just restart the old camera. Didn't grow this beard for nothing. Where are we? Off. Put it on. Yeah, cool. Okay. Right, so yeah, we've got this hexagon thing. Let's use this. So I want it to be inverted, so I'm going to do 1 minus. Okay. Let me get this thing here. And we're going to multiply it by particle color. By this one. And that will go into there. Opacity, we're going to change this to masked. No, we'll change it to translucent because it makes more sense. And in fact, we'll make this also go into emissive color. Opacity will be this one. Okay. So I'm going to hit apply. And that'll do for our material, at least. Go back to here. Let's add a new emitter. One. And sprite renderer. We use the there. Okay. And make a little fire now. So in here we want to go into particle emitter update to spawn rate. And we'll do 35. And on particle spawn, we're going to add a velocity to it. Fix the solve forces and velocity. And we're going to change the velocity here to be randomized somewhat. So we'll go over here. And we will do random vector range. And we'll do X, we'll do as 10. Sorry, minus 10, minus 10. And in the Z we'll do 50. And the other one we'll do 10, 10, 150. No, we'll do 100. So you get this. On the particle update. So update is going to be used when you want to change the particle over time. In other words, I want mine to go smaller, so they need to be in here. So we need to do scale. Scale. I might be wrong. It is size. Wait, what's scale? Hold on. Size. Bright size. I don't know why I didn't see that. Yep. So at the moment it is a uniform curve, so it will start at 0, get closer to 1. Right. If I put it as -1, invert it. So it starts out full size and goes down to doing it empty. Off. Any chance you put up the question time from last week? Oh, I must have forgot to put it up. Yeah, I will. I'll put it up. Why is this not working? Well, why is it? I've messed up. Probably because I haven't got this set to anything, that's why. So change that to 50. Then add scale. right size. Yeah, so it's the other way around. So you'll see -1. Should go the other way. No, all right. We'll just do the old-fashioned way. We'll just drag this up. That value of 1, and this one will be a value of 0. Okay, so you get smaller. Yeah. Then you want color. So particle update. We're gonna go to here and do color, and color that goes there, and this will be curve, and we're gonna do color from curve. And the curve is going to use the age of it. So the longer it lasts for, the color will change. So I'm going to change the color up here to like a red color. And then change it to orangey color. Okay. So the alpha isn't going through. The reason why that's going through because I forgot on the material here to use the alpha here, the particle color. So you multiply that by your mask, and then that gets you. This is how I tend to like doing stylized fire, Brett. I don't know if yours is trying to look slightly differently. At least from this, hopefully you can see where to go. But these are set to face camera, so no matter which angle you look at, they always look the same. How to detect if ball hits the ground. Okay. How to get enemy to follow play for about 5 seconds? Just keep moving forward. Okay. I see your questions. Don't worry, guys. I'll just answer them when I get to them. Oh, I just saw you have a question then, Brett. Not question. Comment. Leaning more towards realistic rather than low poly. How to make stylized fire. What do you mean by realistic if it's stylized? Because that's kind of combative terms. Okay, so there's this up. I'm going to change the location as well. Particle spawn location. And we'll do a cylinder location, and we'll make it very short. Too bad. Cylinder radius here. We'll leave it at 100 actually. At the very height here. Okay, and then on the then we're going to add a higher size to it. So initialize particle spawn, go to initialize particle, and size here set to 50. Oh, I'm going to set this to random range float. That's going to be between 50 and 100. Okay. You can make these things emit light as well. Go to light render. And here you can choose what color they're going to have here. So we'll add like an orangey color to this. So it'd be a bit of like red here. So it'd be like 1 there, 5 there. And that gives a bit of light there. But the brightness of this is the multiplication of this. By the way, here's a top tip. If you want to save yourself time in working out multiplication of stuff, in this case it's really easy because it's just 1 on 0.5. But you can these boxes all support expressions. So I can put in here multiplied by 10. Oh, if I can type in I've got to say 1 multiplied by 10, he gets the answer. And this one multiplied by 10, it gives you the answer. So if you've got like especially you're thinking, oh, I need to make that thing look twice as big, rather than trying to work out the maths in your head or getting a calculator, you can just type it in, like do that times that. And that also works for like addition, subtraction, division, all that stuff. And with the color as well, I'm gonna make them fade in a little bit as well. So I'm gonna drag the alpha to here, click on here, there, and change the opacity down to 0. Get them fading in. Well, so it doesn't look as like harsh. Okay. You may also want to add a little vortex to it a little bit, because they kind of swirl a little bit. So vortex velocity, fix that issue. And if just probably have to turn this down a bit. They spin around like this. So you can turn that down, obviously. Like. And we'll do some fall off as well. We'll do so fall off effects like those on the outer edges will have less of an input than the ones in the middle. So you get more of like more of an actual fire like behavior, I guess. Neat. That color, I'm going to tweak the red in a bit, so I'm just bringing the red in. So yeah. And furthermore, if you want to do like add the smoke to this as well, you can add this to smoke quite easily. You just do you can probably use the same thing here and change it to color. So I'm going to just copy this emitter, create it. But this one is going to be smoke. So I'm going to go to the color here, and we're going to change this one to like a dark color. Just want to be more grey. And we're going to change their starting position as well. So we're going to change the cylinder location, and we're going to offset it up a little bit. Remember how you do that. Transform, offset, there you go. So we're going to do the origin, change that to a default, and offset it in the Z by, I don't know, 50, 100. Okay, so it starts off a little bit higher up. We'll change the radius a little bit here to like 80. Change their size down a little bit so it's not so high. We do like 35 to 55. Behavior. But you can make smoke last for longer, maybe, and have a bit more affected by wind and things. So I'm gonna have in here their lifetime going to 8. We'll actually randomize that a little bit too. Random range float. Go between 8 and 10. Okay, so there's some stylized fire effect. We do the same for our fire particles here. So lifetime on this, we go and do random float. Be minimum of 5, maximum of 8. So now some will drift off a bit more. Yeah. So there's a way of doing stylized fire. There's so many things you can do with it. Unless There's our fire. Okay. Okay. So the questions I saw earlier, where were they? How do I get an enemy to follow the player for about 5 seconds and just keep moving forwards? So a few ways you can do that. You can do like so when they're detected by the player character to do like when you, if you watch any more AI stuff, it's when you do the target perception updated and they see target actor being set and they go chasing off that target actor. What you can also do is make it so that you can just make a move forward task, and that just takes their last input vector, which they had, or current velocity, and just keep applying it for however long. It's too much. It will take too long to set up here. I don't spend too much longer on it. Need to, but that's essentially what you got to do. I better say there's quite a few ways to do it. How to detect if ball hits the ground. So if you've got a projectile like the one we got here, you have a hit event, and this hit event will trigger whenever it hits anything. But what you want to do with that to make sure it hits if it hits the ground, not the walls or anything like that, you need to know what is the ground and what you determine is the ground. Now the easiest thing to do is just take the hit normal and see how close it is to being vertical. So for example, I'll make it only destroy this thing. I'll detach all this. So this ball will only be destroyed if it hits the ground. So I'm going to take the hit normal here and do dot product, and we'll just put in 1 in a Z there, and we're then going to see if this is nearly equal to, and we'll put in the value of 1. 1 means it's going to be the same value going straight up, with a tolerance of, let's say, 0.1. Okay, so there can be 0.9 or high or low. 0.1 high or low. That in there, and we'll make it so it destroys the ball only when it hits the ground, like that. And that'll work for any surface that is level flat, like the ground is. So yeah, keep bouncing it off the walls. Hang on. Okay, so it's hitting the ground and disappearing. Now the downside to that is obviously if your ground is like that, then you got issues. So to do something like that when it's not flat, the best thing probably to do is to use physics materials, maybe, which you can get from the hit event here. If you break the hit event here, you can get hold of the actors material and physics material, and you can get the surface type, which you can then define in your project settings. I haven't done a video on it, I don't think, but you can set surface types in your project settings, and apply it to materials. Yeah, surface. They can add all these surfaces to it, and so you can say this one's the floor, for example, and you add that to a physics material, which then you can add to the floor. Let's do that. Floor, for example. That. And we'll make a new physics material. And on here you can tell what surface type you want to use, and we're going to choose the floor. I'm going to leave the rest of it alone, like that. Then just click on the floor here, and over here, if I go down to physics material override, I can just drag that onto there, and now it detects when it hits the floor. If I go to the projectile here, if this is equal to floor, that's when it's going to destroy the ball, not when it's level. Now only that surface will do damage, will destroy the ball. At least it should do. Oh, whoops. Actually, I'm trying to be property hit result Bismat. Error. Probably have to do it on this. I don't think you can override it here. What do I call it? No. You can tag the floor as well. Yeah, you can also do that if you want. Yeah, it went. Okay. So how come the first one went? Oh, hold on. Why are you not seeing the floor, mate? It's there. Oh, wait. You have to... There was a setting somewhere. What's that setting? It on the project settings or on the... Hold on, might be a project setting. I can't remember now. Oh no, sorry, I remember now. It is in the collision settings, and you can return material on move. Was it that one? Turn that one on. No. There's a setting. I can't remember which one it is now. Check here. I don't think it was in. I don't remember it being. Oh, where was it? Oh wait, generate hit events. Oh wait, no, shouldn't generate hit events because it's not. That's not a physics object. The other one's a physics. I think it might be the ball that needs to do it then. Turn on for both of them. Return material move. Oh. Okay, well it's now colliding with everything. Why is that hitting? Well, no more errors, so why is that still destroying itself? It's equal to floor. Reactor. They are being destroyed. Why are they destroying themselves? That makes sense. Oh, wait a second. It's because I added it to the material. But I added it to this. Oh, that way. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Yeah, you have to enable it on move for the projectile, not the floor. There you go. But yeah, had the same material, therefore it was causing issues. So just took it off that. Okay. So let's have a look at the next question. Let's find another one. Eric Wojtowski. So what's the difference between a physics material versus a new collision channel? So physics materials have collision, like you can use a collision channel if you want, but a physics material gives you far more options. So you can change things like friction, restitution, things like that on the material. So let's say you want a bit of, like you want to do an icy lake, you can just drag this physics material onto the icy lake and it will affect how the player moves on it. So, and other physics objects. So it's used for stuff like that, where you can change what surfaces feel what. So you make more bouncy surfaces if you want. So like, if I turn this restitution up to like 1 and hit play on this, this should be still on the floor. Enable physics. So knock these down. Come on, knock down. You can do it. Hello. The floor should be, you see how the floor bounced a lot more? So it's more bouncy for the things hitting it. So if I can also change that to a higher number, I think. If I change the override mode to use the max. I swear you can change that like that. Use the max one. Now. Come on. Tell you what, if I just put the projectile stuff back on, default stuff. Component. Velocity. Oh, hold on. What was that referring to? Oh, no, it's just itself. What have I messed up? Oh, yeah, whoops. So see how the floor's a lot more bouncy for him? Yeah. That's restitution. So you can make the floor do different things. Sarah Lee. Ryan, do you ever use the ability system in Unreal? Not really. It worked essentially the same as my blueprint version of it. That was the inspiration behind the blueprint version, was just looking at that and converting to blueprints. Yeah, that would be it really. So yeah, I messed about with it, but yeah, it's just as easy to make it in a blueprint system. So yeah. Vlad, hi Ryan, could you explain how COD do their rebuildable barricades? You're holding down a button, it rebuilds one by one, but if you stop holding button, it will leave the boards that have been done and leave the others. Sure, okay, I'll show you that. Let's make the barricade. And we'll put a mesh in there. I don't think I have the starter content on here, so I don't have a door. No, I don't. Cube it is. One door. Okay, or portal, whatever you want to do for it. But there you go. And we'll make the individual boards up. This is just a way. There's loads of ways of doing this. So I'd show you one way of doing this. And this will be a plank. So let's resize that to make it a little more plank-like. Ooh. There. Okay, and I'm going to attach that to... Actually, no, I won't attach it yet. I'll just duplicate first. Duplicate that. Down. Patient on it. And one more time. That'll do, whatever. So these are our planks, and we're going to attach them to the door. That. But we're going to make these all not visible. So do turn them off. On the event graph here, we're going to make a... Oh, so I have to put an overlap box on it. As I said, there's numerous ways of doing this. I've done it different ways in the past as well. So we'll put a little box on it so we know when we're in it. And for now, I'm not going to worry about building an interaction system. I'm just going to make an overlap interaction. So in here, what I do is I check that this is equal to player character first. And if it is, great. Then we enable input on here. Need to get player controller. And when we end overlap, same thing. We disable. Okay, very basic interaction system. That's a basic version of it. But then let's do like E key. Easy if I do this. One, and then up here change it by clicking here. Yep. Right, so for this we're going to do a timer by event. And this is going to be a custom event called place board. Sorry. And we'll say it takes 2 seconds to put a board up. Whatever it may be. And we'll make it loop. Then we want to return that value to a variable. And we'll do it timer. And on the release, we're going to take the timer and clear and invalidate it. And then when we place the board here, we need to know what boards we're placing and in which order. So we're going to take these 3 cubes. And on the event graph, I'll begin play. We're going to place them... place them out here. And we're going to make an array. So we can do array. And pop in there. Nah, and just promote that to a variable. So at the start of the game, it'll set up the boards, and then on the timer, take the array out, get, and then from there we'll get copy, and we'll set this one to be visible. And then turn it on, and then we want to remove the first one. So we'll do remove index. And when you remove index 0 from an array, it shifts them all up one. So you can just keep it set to just get the first one in the list. Hit compile, save that, and that is it. So yeah, let's go and test that out. If I drag this in, put this over here. I don't know what side I put them on, but we'll find out. Oh wait, I'll put them on this side. Change that out. This should work. Let's test this out. Hold down E, by the way. There you go. On board. And that's it. And if you want to do like health values for things as well, the place board can increase the health as well of the door. So you can do like health, whatever it may be, as a float. And you can say the door by default has health of 100. And every time we add a board to it, we get the health that we currently have, and we add a float to it of 100. So it increases the health of the door up. So when your enemies attack it, or you shoot it, or whatever, the health can have more time to go down. We also want to make sure that we have actually got a valid index in here. So we'll do is valid index. And make sure it only does it when we have actually got boards to put down. There you go. What's that? One Call of Duty rebuildable mechanic. Hold down E. And if I walk away and let go of it afterwards, yeah. If I've let go, it's going to clear that timer, and therefore has to start again when I go up to it. So, yeah. There we go. Hope that helps, Vlad. And oh yeah, the way that Buckminster's describing it is another way you can do it. Thalos, Ryan, where's the best place that player HUD displayed from? For example, do I create a player character or game instance? So there's a few answers to this, and part of it's personal preference about what you do. I personally put mine in the player controller, but I guess technically what you should do is go into make your HUD class, which I already have one on here because it's first person template. It's first person HUD. You do it in here. I mean, this is just drawing the crosshair, but like on the begin play here, you can then create the widget and add the widget to the screen, blah blah blah. The reason why it's quite good to put on this HUD thing is because A, it makes sense, it's called the HUD. B, it's tied to the player controller and to the level, so if the player controller persists, so does this. Don't put it on the character. The character is kind of a bad place to go, because if the character has to be destroyed and rebuilt somewhere, like respawning somewhere, you're going to lose the HUD as well and all its references, so you have to go through that again. So it's best to put it somewhere like the player controller and leave it there. Another good reason of putting on the HUD reference here is that there are nodes which allow you to get the HUD class of the character. Maybe if not in this place, maybe. What are we on here? Oh, what's it called? It might be get player controller first. It might, it's either get player controller or get game mode, one of the two. Yeah, player controller. So you get the HUD, and that would turn the HUD class that's tied to it. Is that actor there? And it kind of compartmentalizes it, keeps it all together. And that's why it's quite good to have it all separated out. When you're doing game development, you kind of want to make sure you try and keep things separated apart. It makes things a lot easier to organize, a lot easier to access and change things, and logically would make sense as well. So the HUD class is where it's meant to go, but you can cut that out and just go put it on straight on the controller, which is what I tend to do because I'm lazy. But I really should be using the HUD class. I won't put it on the game instance because the game instance is persistent, and there's no need to have your HUD accessible all the time. You don't need it accessed all the time. And if it is trying to draw the HUD in a room that the references the HUD is using don't exist, you're going to get errors. So the game instance is a bad place for that. How are we doing for time? We've got time for like one or two more questions, I think, before we have to call it a day. Hi, my game doesn't make session in Steam, although Steam overlay appears. Okay. So, are you using... I assume you're following what I'm doing on my series. make sure you've changed the ini file to use either the dev code, the dev app ID, or your own one. If you want to package your game and publish it, you need to have your own app ID. And you get that by paying the $100 entrance fee for Steamworks. Get the store page, you upload the package there, and you get the app ID from there. Input that into ini files. But it shouldn't be a fine. You just do create session. That's what it is. When you see create session, join session, and leave session, think of session as like an advert. So create game advert, leave game advert, like close game advert, and join game advert. Once they connect to your game, that's it. They're hooked up. The only way you can get them out of your game is if you send them away from your map or your game, or tell them to leave the server that way. When you say like close session, they're not actually going to leave the session when they do that, because that's not what they're doing. The session exists still. They've connected to you, so that's not how you would do that. But say if it doesn't make a session in Steam, although the Steam overlay appears, I'll have to double check the app ID. That is the most common issue. Check that. Vlad Oslav. Hi Ryan, or does anyone know if a character is playing the animation, can you lock their head to the player within a trigger so it looks like they're talking to the player? You want to use aim offsets. So check out aim offsets. But you basically have animation for the head doing this rotation stuff, and you work out the rotation between them and you, and they'll turn their head to you when your cutscene is playing or whatever. But that is what you want. There is the aim offsets. ETM is suggesting using look at player. Not necessarily, because it'll turn the whole character to look at the thing. You want to just get the rotational difference and use aim offsets to turn the head separate from the body. If you want. If you want the whole body to turn and face the player, then you can use look at player just fine. Just make sure you turn off the X and Y rotations and only keep the Z. Otherwise your character you'll be looking like this, and the other character will be like that. Look weird. As they point to your root, not to your head. Okay, so I think what we'll do there is we'll end it there for today. This has been a good session today. Good question time. So thank you so much for your questions. I'm glad we got through quite a few of them, and they're good fun. I looked at them. They're quite nice. I'll probably make some of them into actual full-length videos as well at some point, or how-tos. But yeah, brilliant. As I said, we are doing Asset Flip live this month because it's the 4th anniversary of the channel. So this Saturday, you can look forward to the first episode of that. I'm going to have to download all the assets in preparation. The assets this month are interesting ones. They are like you immediately looking at it thinking like dismemberment. You got the haunted places. You're thinking, oh, horror stuff, cool. I just made a horror game, for last month's Asset Flip. I'm wondering if I can, and a horror game seems too obvious, even though. So I'm thinking, how can I do it that's not horror? I want to think of more interesting ways than just the obvious thing. So I'm gonna have a look. But yeah. Anyway, that'll do for today. Rest of the week, what can you look forward to rest of the week on the channel, we've got the continuation of the equipment series. That's near the end now for those on YouTube. Over on the Patreon, you've got the JRPG series continuing. Episode 2 came out today. Episode 3 and 4 will be coming out later this week as well as some more videos on online sessions. We're up to episode like 13, I think. We're kicking players from the game and things like that. And some other cool stuff I'll be sharing soon as well. Also, be prepared, because in the final week, which is the actual anniversary week of the channel launching, expect loads and loads of videos coming up and out. So you're looking at 1 a day, definitely, maybe 2 a day from YouTube. Okay. Patreon members will also get a load of bonus videos as well. we're just going to flood you with videos on that last week of October. So I look forward to that as a way of celebrating the 4 years of the channel and 4 years of you guys supporting me. So thank you so much for your support. It's always a pleasure, and wish you all the best. Have a good night, and I'll see you on Saturday. Bye, everyone.